What's up, guys? Andy Drifter here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, and welcome to part 20 of some of my favorite autographs. This is going to be the wide receiver edition. Just to give you a heads up, the players that I'm about to show you, they're all current. I think one of them has already stamped his entry into the Hall of Fame. Two of them at the moment are borderline cases, and two of them have a lot more to do until they are in that discussion. I'm going to roll them out for you. Tell me what you think. So the first piece that I have for you is an 8x10 signed by Cardinals wide receiver A.J. Green. This was an in-person auto I got prior to the 2018 season. At the time, he had 7 years in the NFL, 7 straight Pro Bowl appearances, and 6 out of those 7 years he caught for over 1,000 yards. So even though he had spent those years with Cincinnati, which at the time was a lackluster team, it looked like he was on his way to the Hall of Fame. I told him so, and he wrote HOF under his name. Since then, he has been plagued by injuries. He missed all of 2019. In 2021, he got a fresh start in Arizona, and his introductory campaign in Glendale wasn't half bad. He caught for 800 yards, 848 to be exact. As of right now, he is 45th all-time in all-time yards receiving. He's got 10,344. He needs just over 500 to crack the top 40 and over 1,300 to crack the top 20. Both are very achievable. As far as his Hall of Fame status, over the years, it seems like the bar has been lowered for the NFL Hall of Fame. But the main thing that would keep him out is his lack of postseason experience. So should he crack the top 20, maybe get a Super Bowl ring, or at least make several postseason appearances, that would definitely strengthen his case for a Hall of Fame entry. As you can see on the lower left-hand corner, this is authenticated by PSA. That's the first item that I have for you. You are looking at a signed 8x10 of Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. This too was an in-person auto that I got prior to the start of the 2018 season. At that time, Hill, 2 years in the league, 2 Pro Bowl selections, and 1 All-Pro selection. His stock was quickly rising, but keep in mind, at that time, Alex Smith was still the quarterback for the Chiefs. They had just drafted Patrick Mahomes, but he would go on to sit on the bench for 1 season. Alex Smith, a quality QB, but in my opinion, the ceiling was only so high for him. Patrick Mahomes, a far more superior quarterback who helped Tyreek's cause. Fast forward to now, Hill, he's got a Super Bowl ring, several more Pro Bowl and All-Pro selections, and this year he's making a very compelling case for Tua to be in that MVP conversation. He's also on pace to break the all-time record for most yards receiving in 1 season. So there it is. I believe he has already stamped his entry into the Hall of Fame. This is one of my favorite pieces, a signed 8x10 by Miami's wide receiver Tyreek Hill. The third piece that I have for you is an 8x10 signed by Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin. If you look on the lower right-hand corner, this is authenticated by Total Sports Enterprises. This was an online purchase through TSE.com. Signed in white ink. Godwin, he was a 3rd-round pick in the 2017 draft. Over his career, he has made 1 Pro Bowl. He had 2 seasons where he caught for over 1,100 yards, and he's got 1 Super Bowl ring. Last year, in Week 15, he was well on his way to another Pro Bowl selection when he took a devastating hit against the Saints, which ended his season. This year, he doesn't look the same. I think it's one of those injuries that he has not completely recovered from, but he is playing through it. He's got to stay healthy, but he definitely has the potential to make many more Pro Bowls, even a few All-Pro selections. The Buccaneers, over the past few weeks, it looks like they're starting to turn things around. They are in first place in the NFC South. And yeah, there it is. That is my third piece that I got for you, an 8x10 signed by Chris Godwin. This is one of my more recent in-person autos, an 8x10 signed by Bills wide receiver Gabriel Davis. That Vikings and Bills game was the talk of the week among NFL pundits. A very exciting game. Specifically, they were talking about that catch that Gabe Davis made under the 2-minute mark. At first, it looked like an incredible catch. But upon review, the ball looked like it hit the ground. Nevertheless, the call stood, and the Vikings did win that game. The Bills right now, they are in third place in the AFC East, and they have not looked the same since that Sunday night victory against the Packers. I should say the second half of that game against the Packers. That's when it looked like their play started to diminish a bit. This week, they are going to host the Browns. Buffalo is expected to get quite a bit of snow, so it should be an enjoyable game to watch on TV. Davis, last year, he set an NFL record in that overtime loss against the Chiefs, catching 4 touchdowns. You could say he is the number 2 wide receiver in Buffalo behind Stephon Diggs. He is well on pace to catch for a career high in yards. So that is number 4, a signed 8x10 of Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis, and it is authenticated by JSA. And the last piece that I have for you is a signed mini helmet by Ravens wide receiver, kick returner, and punt returner Devin Duvernay. During the NFL season, I start my mornings off by watching Undisputed. Yes, Skip Bayless can be quite annoying at times. But I gotta tell you, he was ahead of the curve when it came to Devin Duvernay. He was touting his skills long before anybody else noticed. A 3rd round pick out of the University of Texas. I think he was either 3rd or 4th round pick. This is his 3rd season in the NFL. He's already set a career high in yards receiving and touchdowns. He turned a lot of heads in week 2 with his 103-yard kickoff return against the Jets, which resulted in a 24-9 win for the Ravens at the Meadowlands. It looks like he will make another Pro Bowl, possibly another All-Pro selection this year. The Ravens are in first place at 6-3. They got a 1-game lead over Cincy. Lamar is in that MVP discussion. And part of the reason that he is because of Devin Duvernay. This mini helmet is signed in white deco paint pen, and it is authenticated by JSA. I don't know if I mentioned before, but this was also an in-person auto. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed part 20 of some of my favorite autographs. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you later on today with another break.